it's a time to really acknowledge, recognize, and honor Indigenous knowledges, and to create learning environments to develop students' identities as mathematicians and scientists in the making from all backgrounds. Today we're going to learn how understanding First Nation, Métis, Inuit language structures can improve learning for all students.
Mathematics in school seems to be one of the most unspiritual things that any of us does. And, you know, I mean, for me as a mathematician, I have come to the kind of very deep experience of mathematics, where it is a spiritual experience for me. But I'm hoping that one doesn't have to stay in school for 24 years to have that kind of spiritual connection to mathematics. It should be much more natural. If it really does fit in with Indigenous knowledge, it should be built in somehow. And so this is what I've been contemplating for a long time.
But I also wanted to talk a bit about traditional education, because to me it's one of the most important and powerful aspects of Indigenous culture, the way that you come onto knowledge. And I think most of us are familiar with the idea that Indigenous people have an oral tradition, right? But realistically, that's only part of the story. We also have a recorded history as well. Like for us as Anishinaabe, we have the Birch Bark Scrolls, which recorded our migration and our spirituality, and also a good number of our philosophical, historic, and spiritual edicts. And then we also have the carved arrows, and we also have the rock paintings, many of which are all across Ontario, from this region to Agua Bay to all over Lake of the Woods, the area that I'm from. So yes, we do have an oral tradition, but we also have a recorded and a mnemonic tradition as well. But even that is only part of the story. Yes, it's true that a huge portion of your traditional Indigenous education comes from listening to the elders and comes from apprenticing under the elders and listening to them. But what's really amazing about Anishinaabe and other Indigenous ways of knowing is that at a certain point you have to head out on your own, and you have to discover knowledge through experiential learning. So for instance, when you're a young person, yes, you can go to the sweat, yes, you can go to the shake tent, yes, you can participate in the pipe ceremonies and the powwows and soak up knowledge. But at a certain point, you're expected to go out and fast as well. And something happens there when you're sitting out in the woods for 4 days, 4 nights. Right? First day, you're pretty normal. Second day, kind of more of the same. You're pretty thirsty. Third day, things start to get a little weird. Fourth day, you're completely outside of yourself, right? And you're very much appreciating the ways of the plants and the animals and the birds and the crawlers all around you. And something happens going through that process, where the things that you've heard all your life become internalized, and you make certain discoveries about the world around you. And so to me, that's one of the really powerful things about Indigenous culture, is that yes, you can soak up knowledge handed down through the generations, but at a certain point you have to step out onto your own path and discover more knowledge for yourself.
We're going to learn to recognize the deep math and science embedded in cultural practices.
The sound it makes is the sound of the wind.
We had it every Wednesday for the month of April, And we had it from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And we had different centers each week, but like the prop center, for example, we pre-cut shapes and we had them make robot men with circles, rectangle for body.
Because the square is a rectangle, we could just call it length times width. But because we haven't got the understanding of the relationship between the two, it makes perfect sense for some resources to teach different representations of that.
We're still giving them that opportunity to test their theories and continue to just think about what's going in so they could self-predict about what could be coming out. And then it goes, beep, 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 beep. And out it came.
Today we are here to listen and learn from the voices that in the past have been silenced. Today is a time to make those voices heard and to make a commitment to ourselves and to our students to recognize, honor, and invite the knowledge holder communities into our schools and classrooms.